What's up with it, y'all? Y'all already know who it is and what it is, though. Freeze is it, you did? I see y'all tuning in already for Pimp. Get y'all a good view of this pimping, dog. Can't say that thumbnail is hilarious, huh? For real, though. That's real talk. What's up with y'all, though? Give y'all a minute to tune in, I mean. Get a good amount of people up in here. Which T-Mac is that? T-Mac, where you from, T-Mac? Said Freeze looking like Tito Jackson, huh? Yeah, I got the fro tonight, you dig? Yeah, we gonna talk about, you know what I mean, these weak ass niggas tonight, though. How we gonna pump the brakes on this shit, man? Larry Young, you know, got to put that love in my body, man. Top of it to y'all, though. I see y'all tuning in, man. I'm gonna give y'all a minute to pile up in here, man. And we gonna get right into it. Oh, that T-Mac. Yeah, yeah, I'm already knowing, man. See, I know a few T-Macs. For a second, I thought you was my old school partner from Milwaukee. Cause that T-Mac I've been trying to find for some years now. You dig? But nah, what's up with the T-Mac? I see you. Ray Gunn, what's up with it? Tony Davis, I see you. John C said you offended my father with your thumbnail pic, bro. Hey, I know it's offensive to a lot of motherfuckers, but it's really applicable to our men in today's times, unfortunately. You did. Mr. Englewood, what's up with it, man? I see you. Give it just a few more moments, and we're going to get right into it, man. You see what I'm doing, man? I'm putting this love in my body, though, man. I advise you to do the same, though. You did. Jess, what's going on with it? Yarmus, I see you, man. Nice B, what's up with it? Jay Evans, I see you, bro. What's up with it? P's up indeed. You did? Yeah. Hold on, what? Like a motherfucker. Thomas, yeah, see, unfortunately, the internet is gonna keep creating motherfuckers like that. It ain't really the internet's fault. You know what I mean? It's us as men. We about to get into it right now. I see it's a good amount of people in here. Overstand, what's up with it? I see you. High Life ENT. I see you. Sugar Snap, top of it. DJ Gold Shoes, what's up with it? All right, man, we're gonna get right into it, man. See, I don't know if y'all as disgusted as I am with the overall state of black men in America right now, man. But we looking real terrible, man. It's sad. Everybody is selfish. Everybody is cutthroat. Everybody is tender. Everybody is soft. You know what I mean? Everybody is sensitive. Shit is crazy, man. Like I done told y'all before. See, some of y'all done heard me speak before on, monitoring what you allow to come into your influence. Ray Gunn, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? But really guarding yourself, just like, Andre Taylor, Gorgeous Dre teaches about guarding a man. You really got to guard yourself as a whole when you're a young man in America. You know what I mean? Especially mentally, spiritually, physically, all of that, you dig? Because the power of influence is a motherfucker, I tell you. And unfortunately, in today's times, when it comes to urban America, we got a lot of fucked up, powerful influences in our culture. You dig? If you really think about it, the way the media is set up, the way entertainment is set up, is really designed right now for us to be weak as a motherfucker. Droney, as always, I appreciate you. Best of blessings to you. But it's really set up for us to be weak as a motherfucker. All the influences that are in our culture right now. See, a lot of y'all that's too young to really know from experience. Back in the days, we didn't have so much weak ass shit. We in entertainment, to be honest, we've always had some fucked up examples for our people, and fucked up examples, as far as influences via media and entertainment. But hey, in 2018, it's really, really fucked up, man. Like, if you really just look at everything. Oh, Shay, as always, bro, I appreciate you for tuning in and appreciate you supporting for the uppercase P. You dig? Good looking. But one of the biggest things that I have a problem with when it comes to, urban entertainment, and one of the worst influences that we have right now in 2018 for examples of our black men, is that motherfucking VH1, man. VH1 and all of them quote unquote reality shows that come on VH1, if you really think about it, see, motherfuckers are so feeble-minded, it's a shame. And if you really think about it, it just puts a lot of examples of us being weak. Like, the weakest examples that we could possibly have, that's what's going on. Like, Love and Hip Hop, all of the Love and Hip Hops, Love and Hip Hop LA, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop New York, whatever other Love and Hip Hops they got. Black Ink Chicago, Black Ink New York. What's the other? Oh, Basketball Wives, all that Basketball Wives shit. If you pay attention to the shit, and I want somebody to tell me, like, if any of y'all could think of like an example of a solid man, and when I say a solid man in the sense of commanding the respect of women. Because if you pay attention, and if you see what I see is a lot of weak ass men on all of them fucking reality shows. You know what I mean? It's always situations on them shows where the dudes that's dealing with the women, they just get disrespected in the craziest ways. Women, I done seen women slap dudes on there, and the dudes just bow their head down. I done seen women, or females, excuse me. They don't really deserve to be called women. Who was that said that? Tony Davis, you a fool, very hood one. Hey, that's real talk though. That's really what it is. But see, ain't nothing so much wrong with hood. It's just the portrayal of the hood shit on these shows. But like I said, I done seen females spit on dudes, and these dudes never stand up for themselves. They never man up. You know what I mean? Like, um, see, I'm not really big on TV. I'm not a real big TV watcher. The only time you'll catch Freeze watching TV is if I'm around other people that are watching TV. But if I'm alone, me turning on the TV and watching TV, that's something you rarely gonna see me do. And if I do watch TV, 9 times out of 10, I'm watching the news, and that's about it. Maybe sports. But if it ain't news or sports, I'm not really a big TV watcher. But um, I oftentimes end up in situations where somebody else that I'm around is watching TV. And people like to watch Love and Hip Hop. They like to watch Black Ink. They like to watch Basketball Wives and all this shit, right? And like the other day, prime example, right? The other day, I'm watching Black Ink Chicago, right? Nick Flint, that's real talk. It's about demasculating the man, real talk. But I'm watching Black Ink Chicago a few days ago, right? And the boy Four, I think that's how you say his name. But the boy Four on Black Ink Chicago, right? It's a scene on the episode with him and his girl. What the fuck is her name? I think it's Nikki Nicole. But anyway, it's a scene with Nikki Nicole and Four. You know what I mean? And she addressing him about some video that was supposedly sent of him to a female or some shit. I don't remember if it was a video or a picture. But basically she was addressing him about some inappropriate encounters that he was having with another female, allegedly, right? So she pressing this boy, yeah, Samantha Dixon, you know what I'm talking about. It was a video. So she pressing this boy about seeing his phone. She like really pressing him about seeing his phone, and he like explaining himself, and he just like real he's stuttering, and he just like it was no manhood in the situation at all. Like he was like stuttering, and the way he addressed the situation was just weak as a motherfucker. And then it ended with her throwing some food, or she threw something on him. Like, I don't know if it was a drink or food or maybe both. She threw some shit on him, then she stormed out, and he go, he like explained it to the bitch, baby, don't go, and all this old shit. And I just see so much of that on these reality shows on VH1, quote unquote reality shows on VH1, right? And the problem I have with it is that a lot of young black males that are growing up to be young black men, you know, as they're coming of age, this is the examples that's being set before them. You dig? They seeing examples of, weak ass men on TV getting bullied and pushed around and punked by their women, or by their females, excuse me. You know what I mean? You got a lot of these dudes that got the power of influence, and they just on some weak ass shit. And, they call it reality TV, right? If it was really some reality going on, see, the reality is sometimes a bitch need to be slapped. Or I ain't gonna say need to be slapped, but sometimes a bitch asks for it. She warrants that. You know what I mean? And like I done told a lot of y'all before, you know what I mean? This is some game that I get from my mother, the woman that birthed me into the world when I was real, from as far back as I can remember. You know, if a female puts herself in the place of a man, then she deserves to be treated like a man. Meaning, if she like punch on you like she a man, or if she slap you like she a man, then she deserves, the same kind of treatment in return. So when I see these women or females on these reality shows on VH1 disrespecting these dudes in the worst way, like I said, if it was really reality TV, a lot of these bitches would be getting slapped. A lot of these bitches be getting beat up. You know what I mean? That's where I have a problem with the title reality TV, because it's not very real if there's never a time where a nigga is slapping the shit out this bitch for being disrespectful. You know what I mean? A nigga slapping the shit out this bitch for putting her hands on him. Cause she ain't got no business putting her hands on him, especially if he ain't putting hands on her in the first place. You know what I mean? And they, if it's gonna be fucked up, let it be all the way fucked up. Because it's fucked up to see these women punking these dudes, or these females punking these dudes. And yeah, it would be fucked up, you know what I mean, to portray that in entertainment as far as a man putting his hands on a woman. But if the bitch is putting her hands on the dude, you know what I mean, the dude should have the right to put his hands on the bitch in return. You know what I mean? But that would just be so fucked up though. You know what I mean? But they ain't got no problem making us look like monkeys, you know what I mean, entertaining in the circus, making us look like clowns and shit like that. Hey, go all the way with it. Man, slap a bitch. See, that's why, like me, if I was ever given the opportunity to be on one of them type of shows, I couldn't do it, because I know I'm gonna end up slapping the bitch. You know what I mean? If she put her hands on me, I'm gonna slap her. I don't condone violence, and I'm not really a violent person like that, but I'm gonna defend myself. And if a female put her hands on me, you know what I mean, especially on national TV, you know what I mean. Now, if it's a bitch that's like fucking with me, if this is my bitch, you know what I mean, 9 times out of 10 she know better than to put her hands on me. But whatever the case is, man, if a bitch is like trying to hurt me, if she really putting her hands on me in a way where she trying to hurt me, or she coming at me with a weapon or some shit like that, she deserved to get slapped, or she deserved to get her ass whooped. That's what she asking for. She want that. And it's fucked up. But I don't like women like that. But some women are gonna try you and push your buttons to the point to see how far they can go. They gonna try you and see, you know what I mean, how far can I push this weak motherfucker before he finally become a man and slap the shit out of me. Certain bitches want that. Certain bitches like getting slapped. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Some bitches like getting grabbed by the throat with they sadistic asses. You know what I mean? With they twisted asses. You know what I mean? Some bitches like getting grabbed by the throat. And, you ain't even got to, on these VH1 shows, they ain't even necessarily got to beat a bitch up. But can a motherfucker at least grab a bitch by the throat like, bitch, I'll fuck you up? You know what I mean? He ain't got to necessarily follow through with it. But can we at least see that on these shows? You know what I mean? Motherfuckers do it in movies all the time. We see it in movies all the time, in black movies, and just black entertainment, period. Where motherfucker grab a bitch by the throat or slap a bitch or something. You know what I mean? Can we at least make it where a motherfucker, grab a bitch by the throat one time and, bitch, I'll fuck you up. Don't you ever put your hands on me, or don't you ever throw something on me, bitch. Don't you ever disrespect me. You know what I mean? Because that's what a man is going to do. A man is going to stand his ground. You know what I mean? But it's like that's a requirement. When they interviewing motherfuckers to be on these shows, they interviewing to see if, if they got a weak nigga on their hands or not. And it's like if a motherfucker is too masculine, if you really a man and things like that, then 9 times out of 10 you ain't gonna make the cut. You know what I mean? You say Jim Jones held it down. I don't know. I done seen Jim Jones on there before. I'm not an avid watcher like that, so I don't know if he ever been punked or anything like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I just like all of them shows. So they got weak ass niggas when it come to dealing with the bitches on there. All the niggas is weak. And then every one of them shows got a homosexual on it. You know what I mean? Every one of them shows got a flamboyant gay ass nigga on there. You know what I mean? And a lot of them, I haven't seen it on every show, but probably every show got a dyke on there too. You know what I mean? And that's reality. But it's like, damn, they just like shoving it down your throat. They shoving it down your throat with the homosexual shit. And again, somebody please tell me one of them shows that ain't got a homosexual on it. You know what I mean? Because from what I've seen, all the motherfuckers got a gay person on there. You know what I mean? And 9 times out of 10, they just be like real flamboyant with the shit. Like, look at me. You know what I mean? I'm out here like this. You dig? The shit is just crazy, man. But it's just fucked up, man. And see, a big part of it is on a street level and just on a personal level. You know what I mean? On a real life level. Us as elder men in our community and within our culture, any of us that have the power of influence, we got to start putting examples of real, men out there. You dig? For kids to look up to. Because when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, you didn't see a whole bunch of homosexuality on TV. And especially like in quote unquote reality TV, you'll see it in movies and shit like that, but it wasn't something that was just like in your face all the time. Where, you know what I mean, it wasn't to the point where when you turn on TV, you can guarantee that you're gonna see some homosexuality. Back when I was growing up, it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? You had certain movies and shit like that, TV shows where it was there, but it wasn't something that was just shoved down your throat all the time, especially like with black men. And see, that's the thing. In the media and entertainment today, that's mainly who you see it among. You see more gay black men on TV and entertainment and all that than anything else, than any other ethnicity. At least me. I mean, maybe y'all could tell me something, I don't know, because like I said, I'm not real big on TV. But when I look at TV, I see more gay black men than any other ethnicity of gay men or guys. You dig? I see more gay black guys than any other ethnicity. You know, again, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Shit is fucked up. And that's subconsciously that might be a big part of the reason why I don't watch TV. You know what I mean? Because like I've told y'all before, I see most of TV is just junk food for the mind. You know what I mean? Just like a lot of social media is. But, us as black males, we gotta regulate what we allow into our minds, what we allow into our soul, you know what I mean, as well as everything else. You know what I mean, the body and all of that. But you really gotta regulate it, man. I mean, fortunately, for somebody like myself, I'm secure in my manhood. So when I watch like a Black Ink or Love and Hip Hop or something like that, I'm not influenced by it. But nonetheless, I don't like supporting that shit, for one. And then two, I understand that I may not be influenced by it, but my young brothers is influenced by it. And I got a big problem with that shit. You dig? And most of the people on these shows, one, they getting some money, and two, they getting attention and fame and shit like that. So they don't really keep in mind or even think about what it is that they perpetuating and supporting. But it's fucked up. I don't see how somebody that really love their people could be a part of that shit. It's just fucked up. It's really promoting like us to be weak ass men. But like I say, you gotta regulate what you put into your mind. You know, and like I said, those of us that's elders in our communities, we gotta set the right examples. Because when I was young, in the hood, it wasn't really promoted like that to get your education, but it was something that was still looked it was a good look for you. If you was educated back in the days, it was a good look for you. If you spoke well, if you was eloquent, it was a good look for you. You know, and see me, when I was growing up, I was, you know, of course, into hip hop, like most young cats in the hood. I was into hip hop. And the type of rappers that I was into a variety of rappers. But the ones I was most impressed with was the ones who had vocabulary, the ones who were intelligent. You know what I mean? The Corrupts, the Keith Murrays, you know what I mean? The Wu-Tangs, you know, the Rakims, KRS-Ones, you know, Chuck D, Public Enemy. These was the type of rappers that I was most impressed with. You know what I mean? Pete Rock and CL Smooth. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers with vocab. You dig? Poor Righteous Teachers, of course, Pop. You know what I mean? Biggie. You know, even if the content, of course, Razzcast, man, I could go on and on with rappers from the 80s and 90s, especially the 90s. I mean, I could go on and on forever. Redman is another one. I could go on forever with rappers back in the day. But see, now, because see, back in the day, it was, you didn't have to be a lyrical rapper to be successful, obviously, because we know plenty of rappers that weren't the most lyrical, but they still were successful back in the days. You know, you got a lot of feel-good rappers, or rappers who didn't have the most extensive vocabulary, but they, you know, they rapped about shit that you could relate to, that was going on in your reality. If you lived in the ghetto, you know what I mean, you could listen to some Ice-T or some NWA, and their lyrics always didn't have the most extensive vocabulary. A lot of times it did, but they weren't looked at as like the most lyrical cats aside from like Ice Cube and MC Ren. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, you had to be talented. But I say all that to say, back in the days, it was a good look as a rapper or just as a regular nigga, period, or just a regular person, period, to be intelligent, to speak well, to be articulate. But nowadays, that type of shit is frowned upon. You know, most of these motherfuckers probably don't even know how to read, probably don't even know how to write, these rappers. You know what I mean? Everything is ABC 1, 2, 3, and as long as you can nod your head to it and sing the simple ass hook to it, you know it's a hit. And that's cool because we've always had that. We've always had feel-good rappers that wasn't the most lyrical, but they still was talented nonetheless, and they still legendary. Like 2 Live Crew. You know what I mean? 2 Live Crew wasn't the most lyrical, but you can't argue with the fact that they was legendary. They had feel-good music, you know what I mean? They shit was about sex and women shaking their ass and everything like that, but they still legendary though. You can't take that away from 2 Live Crew and Uncle Luke. You know what I mean? They legends, period. You know what I mean? They transcended what was going on in hip-hop when they came out. Wasn't nobody like them when they came out. You know what I mean? Too Short is another one. He wasn't the most lyrical dude, but his shit was about what was going on in his reality when he was coming up in the Bay Area. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say, you've always had rappers that kept it simple. They had, you know, simple, easy to digest lyrics. You know what I mean? But it was never a type of situation where, you know what I mean, if you came with some bars and your vocabulary and your wordplay and your figurative language and all that type of shit was on point, you know, motherfuckers frowned upon you or looked down upon you. It wasn't like that back in the days. But now, it's sad, man. Like, you got some dope ass rappers in today's times that a lot of people ain't gonna be able to appreciate on a mainstream level because they so lyrical. Like, for instance, he got balance. He's a lyrical beast, but he got balance. I'm talking about Dave East. See, Dave East, he cut from that cloth of like a Nas, a Jay-Z, a Biggie, where he's lyrical, but at the same time, he can make a song that you can bounce to. And, you know what I mean? I work out earlier today in the gym. You know what I mean? When I was in the gym earlier today, I'm working out to Dave East. You know what I mean? So Dave East is lyrical than a motherfucker, but at the same time, he got shit that you could digest. He got shit that ain't gonna give these young motherfuckers that be high all the time a fucking aneurysm trying to think of the shit like, fuck, what the fuck did he just say? You know what I mean? But even still, and I love Dave East to death. I've been rocking with Dave East since before he really blew. You know what I mean? When I first discovered him years ago. But I don't think mainstream, unless shit starts to change, the mainstream ain't gonna be able to appreciate a Dave East like that, because most of these young motherfuckers is just so simple-minded that they can't appreciate shit like that. Another motherfucker who I fuck with heavy is Joyner Lucas. You know what I mean? Joyner Lucas is a fucking beast. You know what I mean? But this generation, they not gonna be able to like appreciate a Joyner Lucas because they so simple-minded. You know, and like I said, that type of thing is frowned upon in today's times. You know what I mean? Being intellectual, being lyrical, you know what I mean? Having a cold-ass vocabulary and having content in your lyrics. Yeah, Nipsey is another motherfucker. See, Nipsey is kind of like Dave East, though. Like, Nipsey got a balance. Like, hey, on some real shit, though, Nipsey one of the coldest motherfuckers in the game right now, because Nipsey is lyrical. He got content, but at the same time, his shit is easy to digest. You know what I mean? Nipsey is like one of the most well-rounded motherfuckers in the game right now. But he's another motherfucker. I could see Nipsey breaking into the mainstream somewhat, though. You know what I mean? But as of right now, the mainstream, they don't really appreciate him like that. It's a lot of cats, man. It's a lot of underground cats just doped in a motherfucker lyrically, but because they're so lyrical, because they so dope lyrically, they not gonna be appreciated, because the hottest shit out right now is Gucci Gang. That type of shit. You know what I mean? Oh, excuse me. Hold on. Okay. B4 Band Runners says, I'm new, but why do you have to sit from the side so we can see your muscles, my guy? Hulk Hogan arm ass. Hey, man, see? What's your name again? I think it's B4. Yeah, B4 Band Runners. Okay, B4 Band Runners, right? Oh, shit. B4 Band Runners. I don't know if you have anything that you're proud of, but whether it's the way you think, the way you speak, or the way you dress, your hair, maybe you got nice eyes or something like that. But whatever it is, you might have a nice car or a motorcycle or something like that. You might have a nice house. The way you've decorated your house might be cool. You might have some nice jewelry or something. But whatever it is about you, you might have nice women in your life. You know what I mean? But whatever it is about you, I'm pretty sure that you don't try to hide that about yourself, right? You know what I mean? Like, if you dress nice, you want people to see that you dress nice. I'm sure you don't, when you get fly, you don't get fly to stay in a house so can't nobody see you. You know what I mean? And if you have nice things like a nice house or a nice car or something like that, I'm pretty sure that you display that. You know what I mean? Like, if you got a cool crib, I'm sure that your yard is nicely manicured and shit like that. Or If you live in a condo or an apartment, the shit might be nicely decorated. When you go on Instagram and Facebook and all that shit, pretty sure you show that shit off, right? You know what I mean? Whatever it is that you're proud of, though, I'm pretty sure that you don't hide whatever it is that you're proud of. See me, I go hard as a motherfucker in the gym. So yeah, I'm gonna flex like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? I'm gonna show you my yokes. You dig? You gonna see these. You gonna see these motherfuckers, man. Like, why would I hide this shit? You know, I don't go hard in the gym every motherfucking day to hide this shit. You dig? You make me want to talk like this for the rest of the video. You know what I mean? I feel kind of awkward like this, but at the same time, I know I look good though. So I might just stay like this for the whole motherfucking video. You know what I mean? But I don't do this to hide this. You know what I mean? I want people to see this. I want people to see this. I'm not gonna hide this. Like, why the fuck would I hide this shit? You know what I mean? Whatever it is that you got going on, you might be yoked up too. You know what I mean? If you are yoked up, why would you hide that shit? You know what I mean? I'm just saying though. Why would you hide that shit? You know what I mean? Like, why would you hide? You know, if you had a cool nest, you know what I mean? Like, why would you hide that shit? Seriously. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Power of influence, right? Now, of course, at this point right now, I don't have the power of influence of, say, any of these rappers, or, you know, the people on Love and Hip Hop or Black Ink or any of that type of shit. I don't have the same power of influence as them because my platform isn't as big as theirs. But, you know what I mean? The bit of power of influence that I do have, I'm going to use it in the most positive way possible while still remaining who I am. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm some pimping. You know, I promote that fact. People know that about me. That ain't no secret. I don't hide that. You know what I mean? I'm a street nigga. You know, I come from the hood and all that type of shit. I don't hide that about myself. And certain aspects of that aren't the most glamorous. But the goodness within me, because I'm not perfect, but the goodness within me, I'm going to do my best to promote that fact as well. You know what I mean? I'm going to promote the fact that I only drink fucking water. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, a non-carbonated energy drink. Every once in a while, some juice. But for the most part, 90% of what I drink is fucking water. I'm going to promote that. I'm going to use my power of influence in the best way possible. Matter of fact, you know what I mean? Let me put some of this love in my body right now. And I strongly advise y'all to put some love in your body as well. Right, love break. You dig? And see, like I said, power of influence. I understand that I have the power of influence. It's not as big as I expect it to become eventually, but nonetheless, I have the power of influence. So I'm gonna do my best to influence y'all to be your best. I'm gonna do my best to try to influence you to be better in some type of way. I might not be able to help you better every aspect of your life, but I'm gonna do my best to help you better as much of yourself and as much of your life as I possibly can. You dig? I'm not gonna encourage you to be a weak ass nigga. I'm not gonna encourage you to sip lean and pop pills and do crystal meth and do cocaine and all that type of shit. Like a lot of people whose power of influence is much stronger than mine and much bigger than mine do. You know, most of these people, most of these rappers, you know what I mean? Or most of these entertainers, most of these people in the public eye, they promoting being a dope fiend. I'm not gonna promote that. You dig? So I'm gonna promote working out. You dig? I'm gonna show these yokes once again. You know what I mean? I'm gonna show these because I want you to work out, and you don't have to be the biggest, most swole motherfucker, but just be the best you that you could possibly be. You know what I mean? Like I spoke on before, you might be an endomorph, which an endomorph is somebody who's naturally small. An endomorph is somebody who naturally has a small frame. You dig? But even though you might be an endomorph, you might be a skinny motherfucker with a belly because you drink a lot of beer or you sip a lot of lean or something like that. You know what I mean? Or you just eat bullshit food and you don't stay on top of yourself. You know what I mean? So even if you're an endomorph, be the best endomorph that you could be. Know what I mean? Get your six pack together. Get your cuts together. Get on your calisthenic game. You dig? Hold on. You know, you might be a mesomorph like me. If you're a mesomorph like me, then really you're supposed to be on swole. You dig? And that's one thing that I had to acknowledge about myself. It was a lot of years. Extended clips, as always, much appreciated, fam. Me, I'm a mesomorph, right? So I got the ideal type of genetics to be able to build muscle, right? I build muscle easier than the average person. That's a blessing. So I had to, like I said, I had to acknowledge about myself that I fronted on myself. I fronted on my genetics for a lot of years in my life. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, I was pretty athletic, so I had a pretty nice build as a kid. And I'm the type of person, like I said before, even if I don't work out, I'm still gonna have a decent build. You know what I mean? Unless I let myself go, because now that I'm older, not only is it easier for me to build muscle, but it's easy for me to build fat too. You know, it's easy for me to gain weight. Or not real easy, but it's easier than it used to be. So, but I say all that to say, I realized that I fronted on myself for a lot of years. See, I didn't get serious about fitness until my 30s, until I was 30 years old. You know, but all my 20s, I say throughout my whole 20s, the 10 years of my 20s, I probably only was in shape for about two and a half of those years. But I'm the type of person, I'm supposed to be, you know, on point physically at all times. So now I'm not fronting on my blessings. The blessing of me being a mesomorph, I'm not fronting on that. So that's why I'm in the gym heavy. And like I say, you might be an ectomorph where it's harder for you to you know, lose weight. You know, people call it big bone, quote unquote, but really big bone is an ectomorph. You know, that's a bigger, you know, more robust person. But despite whatever your genetics is, whatever you put your mind to, you could do that. You know, it's people that's naturally endomorphs, that's naturally small in the motherfucker, but they go hard as fuck in the gym and they eat right and they do everything in their power, and they might shit on me. Somebody with better genetics than them, but they got a colder work ethic than I do. So they might shit on me. Yeah, endomorph. Endomorph is a small person. Mesomorph is somebody that's, you know, builds muscle easily, and then an ectomorph is somebody that's, you know, a bigger person. But I say all that to say, man, be the best you that you could be. You dig? And if you got the power of influence, like a lot of us do, especially as older black men, 30 and above, do your best to be the best example to those coming up behind you that you could possibly be. Because our youth need it like a motherfucker right now, man. Y'all don't know how good it makes me feel when a young person tells me, yeah, Freeze, man, I stopped drinking and smoking, man. I ain't had no smoking, no drinking months, man, and I've been drinking more water. Like, that shit make me feel good as a motherfucker, because it lets me know that I'm fulfilling my purpose. Because I believe that's my purpose. Ultimately, I believe the reason why I was put on this planet was to influence people to better themselves. I believe that's my ultimate purpose in life. You dig? I might not be doing it in the best way possible right now because of my lifestyle choice, but nonetheless, I believe that's my purpose. So I do that to the best of my ability while still being me. But yeah, man, the youth need it, man. So if you got the power of influence, I strongly encourage you to do the same. Because, man, these young dudes, they need it like a motherfucker. They need it like a motherfucker. And see, we should want them to be better than us, like all generations before want for the generation coming up ahead of them. Like, I want all of y'all to be better than me. For the youngsters watching, man, I want y'all to be and see y'all got every tool and every resource needed to be better than me. Y'all got shit available to you that I didn't have available to me at my age. I mean, at your age. And it's a blessing. But you gotta work against the fucked up influence, the strong as a motherfucker. Cause see, I know how it is when you're a young person and you around your friends and everybody drinking, everybody getting high, but you feel kind of like awkward, you feel out of place, and you want to get on their level. So you conform. You know, and I see people saying the steroids comments. I normally ignore that shit, but hey, man, I'll tell you what my steroids is. My steroids is my skin. That's my fucking steroids. I'm a black man. You dig? And most of us is blessed genetically. It's, you know, I don't say that to like try to shit on anybody else, but it's just a fact, man. If you're a man of color, if you're a black man, then genetically you are blessed 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10 you blessed. So, you know, the shit that other motherfuckers might have to take steroids for, most of us black men, we don't have to take steroids to look like certain people that do take steroids. And see, even furthermore, see, the way I'm built might be impressive to you because you might be behind me as far as fitness goes. You might not be on my level. So because you haven't done what I'm doing right now, meaning looking the way that I look, built myself up to the way that I am, you see it as like hard to do, or you see it as like impossible, like, oh, he can't be built like that without taking steroids because I'm not built like that. This is what y'all say to yourselves. You looking at me from an autobiographical standpoint. You know what I mean? You projecting your own experience onto me. Like, oh, in order for me to be built like that, I would have to take steroids. So if I would have to take steroids, then that means he would have to take steroids too. No, you don't. Like, before you accuse me of being on steroids, get your ass up and go get in the gym. And be consistent. And then, you know what I mean, say something about it. Man of War 347. Yeah, I got about an 18. A couple months ago, I was like an 18 and a half, but I've been on this mission to get lean. So naturally, losing weight, I done lost a little muscle mass. So I'm about an 18 or something like that. But in a minute, I'm gonna start bulking up again. So yeah, I might be summer 19. See, my mission for summer 19 is to have a 19-inch arm. You did? These people. Let me show y'all what they doing over here. You know, I'm always seeing some crazy shit over here. But um, yeah, like I say, man, uh, when it comes to me being built this way, because somebody mentioned Cali muscle, like I'm nowhere near where Cali muscle was when he was taking steroids. You know what I mean? Uh, and as far as the size goes, it's cats to get that big in the penitentiary with no steroids at all. It's called determination and eating according to how you want to look. You dig? So, but me, see, when you go to the gym all the time, that's another thing too. Like me, I see people bigger than me at the gym all the fucking time, every day. Today when I was at the gym, I seen guys that was bigger than me, you know? But one thing I have to keep in mind is when I step out of the gym, the rest of the world sees me as bigger than them. So, you know, it is what it is. But don't look at me as like some amazingly built motherfucker. You dig? I do my best to be my best, but my physique ain't impossible for a lot of people to have. You know? And especially if you young. You youngsters are supposed to have me faded. Ain't no way in the world that if I got 10 or 15 years on you, that I should be shitting on you physically. You know, like I said, we just had different influences when I was coming up. See, nowadays, the motherfuckers that y'all look up to as youngsters, they fat, they doing drugs, they not intelligent, they not articulate. But see, when I was coming up, man, this is like the way that I look. The dudes in my neighborhood, this is how they look. This is what I looked up to. I looked up to dudes that was on swole. You know what I mean? And because I even though I'm not a gang member or a gangbanger myself, I grew up around that. And in the gangbang culture back in the days, it was the thing to be on swole. It was the shit if you was on swole. You know what I mean? Especially crippin'. Like the crippin', like my generation, motherfuckers did was crippin'. Because I lived in blood neighborhoods a few times throughout my childhood, but I mostly grew up around Crips. And man, the crippin', them niggas was on swole, man. You know, if you was crippin' back in the days, it was really the thing to be on swole. And of course, Craig Munson, which for those a lot of y'all who don't follow the gang culture, Craig Munson was a part of a gang in South Central called the Avenues back in the 60s. And Craig Munson influenced the Crips. You dig? But Craig Munson was on swole like a motherfucker. Craig Munson is in his 60s right now and he's still on swole. But back in the 1960s, Craig was that dude. He was on swole. And you know, he ended up being a bodybuilder later on, but like competing. He ended up competing later on. But dude was on swole. So the younger generations coming up behind him, like the Raymond Washingtons, which was the founder of the Crips, you know, Raymond Washington and his generation, they looking up to Craig Munson. And Craig Munson was on swole like a motherfucker. So it just influenced everybody. Because you had Raymond, then you had Tookie, you had Jamel, which a lot of people don't like Jamel. They can say what they want, but nigga, Jamel was on swole like a motherfucker. And people wanted to be like him. And he was a leader back in the days. He might not be all the way there mentally right now, and he be on the internet saying some crazy shit, but you can't judge the 2018 Jamel, or you can't judge the 1970s Jamel based on the 2018 Jamel that you see right now. Man, Jamel was that dude back in the day. Jamel was on swole like a motherfucker. And, you know, he had that power of influence. So he influenced the cats coming up behind him to want to be on swole. Just like Craig Munson influenced Raymond and Jamel and Tookie and others. They influenced the generations coming up behind them, so on and so forth. You know, so it became a thing to just be on swole. Like if you talk to cats that did time, and please understand, you know, I'm not glorifying gangbanging. I'm not glorifying criminal activity. I'm not glorifying being incarcerated, but it's just what was going on at the time. You dig? And within all of that negativity, it was still some positivity with it. And the positivity with it was being in shape, being on swole, knowing how to fight. You dig? Most of these, and not even just knowing how to fight, but not being scared to fight. You know, most of these motherfuckers are scared to fight. That's why people look at me and they think that like, oh, Freeze think he tough, Freeze think he hard, just because of my physique. But see, I don't do this to intimidate people. I don't do this to make people think that I'll whoop their ass. Extended Clips, once again, I appreciate you. I just do this because it makes me feel good, and I like to be appealing to the women. You know, in the lifestyle that I live, you dig? I want to be able to attract a woman in as many ways as possible. Of course, physically, but beyond the physical, mental and spiritually as well. All of that. But yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't do this to intimidate people. But today's times, Truth from Troy, as always, I appreciate it. Today's times, I don't want to fight nobody, because these niggas are scared to fight. These niggas are scared to fight. See me, I know I'm not the toughest. I'm not the hardest motherfucker, and I never portray myself to be like that. But I'm not scary. I never even knew how to be a bitch. I don't know nothing about being a bitch. I'm not a tough guy, but I'm not a bitch at the same time. I'm just a man. But I don't want to fight none of these niggas in today's times, because these niggas are scared to fight. It's motherfuckers bigger than me. If a motherfucker bigger than me come trying to fight me, they might be more on swole and all that. They might have a size advantage on me and all that. But I'm not gonna be scared to fight nobody. You dig? If I gotta defend myself, I'm gonna do that. But and then if I get, see, this is the thing about me. The way I'm built, if somebody get the best of me in a fight, I'm not gonna want to kill their ass. You know what I mean? Unless they within the fight trying to kill me. You know what I mean? And they come close to doing it, or some shit like that. Like if I'm fighting a motherfucker, if we fighting and a motherfucker like damn near beat me to death or some shit like that, then yeah, I might want to kill the motherfucker. But if we just have catch a regular fade, the motherfucker get the best of me, and we both walk away cool, I might be bruised up or whatever, I might have some lumps, bumps and bruises on me or whatever. If it's just that, then I'm not gonna want to kill a motherfucker just because they whoop my ass. But these motherfuckers nowadays, if you whoop their ass, you're gonna have to kill them, because they gonna want to kill you, and they gonna try to kill you. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers nowadays is bitches. It's so cool to be a weak ass bitch ass nigga. You know what I mean? And that's another thing, like I said, beyond the whole reality TV shit on VH1, promote niggas being weak, just the way that niggas are, like they so emotional. These niggas are so emotional and mama raised, you know what I mean? They don't know nothing but how to act like they mama, which is fucked up, because a lot of cats didn't have a father in their life. So the only thing they know how to do is react to situations how they seen their mama react to them. But within all of that, these motherfuckers are so emotional. So if a motherfucker get his ass whooped, they gonna want to kill you. Especially with the way things is in social media. You know, if a motherfucker get blasted on social media for getting their ass whooped, they not gonna be able to deal with the ridicule of that. Hold on. Alt Black says, nothing wrong with walking from a fight when you realize you're not a fighter. That's true. See me, hold on. See, a lot of cats get violent when they got something to prove. You know what I mean? A lot of cats, they want to fight you or they want to kill you or stab you or shoot you. They want to hurt you in some kind of way to validate their manhood. You know, a lot of cats feel like more of a man if they whoop your ass. A lot of cats feel like more of a man if they whoop your ass or if they kill you or shoot you or hurt you in some kind of way. A lot of cats feel validated in their manhood if they get violent with you. But see me, I don't need violence to validate my manhood. I don't ever have to get violent ever in my life, and I'm still gonna be secure in my manhood. Damn. Motherfuckers. I don't ever have to get violent to be secure in my manhood. So, because I'm so secure in my manhood, like, I won't feel like a punk if I walk away from a fight. But I'm talking about those instances where a motherfucker don't want to let you walk away. Where a motherfucker just strike out at you and you have to defend yourself. Like I said, if I have to defend myself, then I'm gonna do that. But if I have the opportunity to walk away from a fight, then I'm gonna do that first. The violence is gonna be my last resort. And see, that's another thing that's fucked up about our culture. You know, we always feel validated by being violent with a motherfucker. Like, your manhood shouldn't be validated by you being tough and being a violent motherfucker. You know, it's a whole lot more strength exercised in walking away from a fight than it is in engaging in a fight. That's the most manly shit you can do, is walk away from a fight. You know, a lot of people be caught up in what other people think about them and somebody seeing them as a punk if they walk away from a fight. But in all actuality, you're displaying the fact that you're stronger than that individual that want to fight you. You know, you're displaying the fact that you ain't gonna let pride get the best of you, that you can suppress that pride with your manhood. You know, you're not gonna be overwhelmed by pride to the point where you feel like you gotta fight this motherfucker or else you're gonna look like a punk. Now, in certain instances, as fucked up as it is, you can't walk away from a fight because it's gonna make you look like a punk. But at the same time, if you look like a punk, you're gonna have motherfuckers trying you. It all depends on how you carry yourself. Like, for instance, if you locked up, like I said, it all depends on how you portray yourself. If you locked up and you portraying yourself as this tough motherfucker, like you a hardcore nigga and you got hands and all this type of shit, if you portray yourself like that, then if a motherfucker try you and you try to walk away from a fight in that case, then everybody gonna see you as a weak motherfucker and they're gonna act upon that. You know? And you ain't even gotta be locked up. If you in the hood and you live in a lifestyle of if you involved in gangbanging and you portraying yourself as this tough motherfucker and you got hands and you'll whoop anybody's ass and all that type of shit, if you portray yourself like that, then at some point you're gonna have to prove that. So in them kind of cases, when somebody try you, it probably won't be the wisest thing to walk away, because if you walk away, then everybody gonna feel like they could try you. And sooner or later, you're gonna have to prove what you claiming. You're gonna have to prove that you got these hands that you promoting to everybody. But see me, I've never promoted myself as a fighter. I've never promoted myself as the toughest nigga around or anything like that. So I don't have to prove that to nobody. I'm cool with the fact that I might not be the toughest. That's not my objective in life. I don't want to be seen as the toughest motherfucker. I don't care about that. So but I say all that to say, you know, the best thing to do is just portray yourself as a man. You know, and you don't have to portray yourself as a tough guy to be seen as a man. You know, a man is going to be well tempered. A man is going to be sound mentally. And when you sound mentally, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You don't have to prove that you tough to motherfuckers. That shit don't mean nothing. Now, all of y'all that's tuning in, I appreciate you for tuning in. All of you who've hit the like button, I appreciate you for hitting the like button. If you haven't hit the like button up until this point, please do a Pimp a favor and hit the like button. Hit that thumbs up for me one time, and I greatly appreciate you for it. Waldo Wayne, I appreciate you for subscribing. Thank you. Hit that bell when you subscribe as well, so you be notified when I'm on, when I post. And for those of y'all tuning in after the fact, once again, I'm advising you, as always, to put some love in your body, man. Put some love juice in your motherfucking body. Some water, some H2O. You know what I mean? Over here with the Freezes It family, we call this love juice. Put some love in your body one time. Because those of us who love ourselves, this is what we do. We put this in our body on a regular basis. Dumping Crazy just drunk a gallon of core water. That's what's up. Congratulations for drinking a gallon of water, because not everybody does it. So if you did that in the past 24 hours, I congratulate you and I appreciate you. That's what's up. You know what I mean? That's the type of shit that we need to be congratulating. We don't need to be congratulating spending $1,000 or whatever on some lean and all that type of shit, you know, because that shit doesn't display the measure of your manhood. That doesn't display the measure of who you are as a man. The fact that you can spend some money on some expensive ass drugs or some expensive ass whatever, you know what I mean? That shit don't mean nothing. You dig? But this says a lot about to what degree you love yourself. If you putting this love in your body, putting this water in yourself, you dig? So yeah, know what I mean? Put this on display one time. Put some love in your body once again. This shit is so refreshing, man. And see, water is so good for you in so many ways. I've probably talked about it before, I'm sure, about a lot of the different things that water does for you. But one thing that's good, like me, a lot of times when I go to sleep, I keep some water next to me. So that when I wake up, the first thing I'm doing is drinking some water. Because if you drink some water when you first wake up, at least a glass of water, an 8-ounce glass of water, if you drink it at least 8 ounces of water when you first wake up, it wakes your body up. It wakes all the organs in your body up. So, yeah, I advise you to do that. When you first wake up in the morning, or whenever it is that you wake up, drink some water. Have you a little bottle or a little glass of water right there, and down that when you first get up. Let that be the first thing that you put in your body. The water with the lemon is real good for you. Having the lemon in there is good for you. Real talk. But yeah, man. Back to this to these weak ass niggas, man. It's sad. Especially what you see on social media. Like with this whole Bill Cosby situation, right? Now, personally, I don't think Bill Cosby is guilty of what he was convicted of. I really don't. But beyond whether or not he's guilty, see, when the state brings charges against you, they have to have a substantial amount of evidence in order to bring charges against you in the first place. Now, the evidence that they used to bring charges against Bill Cosby was the deposition that he gave in the civil suit with the girl Andrea whatever. I don't even like saying her name with her despicable ass. But he gave a deposition in that case, and the deposition was supposed to remain sealed. It was sealed for years, since like 2006 or something. So over 10 years, this deposition been sealed. But, and they've been trying to bring, since that time, they've been trying to bring charges against Bill, but they were never able to bring charges against Bill because out of these 60 accusers, none of them had evidence. See, if 60 people accuse you of something, it's just a law of averages. There's a thing called probability. See, if you roll the dice enough times, you're going to crap out a lot of times, but some of those times you're going to hit. Some of them times you're going to hit 7 or 11, or you're going to hit your point, you're going to win. You ain't going to win all the time, but if you roll the dice 60 times, you're not going to crap out every time. It's called probability. So over 60 women, I think it's like 62 women or some shit like that. But 60 women accuse Bill Cosby of sexual misconduct. Now, if we go by probability, which probability ain't no chance shit, it's a fact. If you go by probability, like out of 60-something people, somebody is gonna have some kind of evidence of what they claiming. Nobody ain't got no evidence on this man. You know, it's just fucked up in these times that we in. You dig? But nonetheless, ever since that civil suit with old girl back in 2005 or whatever, all these women been trying to bring charges against Bill Cosby, but nobody has ever been able to bring charges against Bill because there's never been any evidence. Show you how life works though, how fucked up America is. This whole MeToo movement. See, they got a certain agenda with this MeToo movement, and it's not what they dressing it up to be. They dressing it up to be a thing where, you know, women step up and they speak up. You know, women who might have otherwise been afraid to speak up on situations where they've been sexually violated. You know, the MeToo movement is supposed to be a thing where it makes it okay for women to speak up. Now, if that was the true intent behind the MeToo movement, then that would be cool. But it's obvious. Anybody with a mind that pays attention to the MeToo movement can see that it's beyond that. See, like I say all the time, social engineering. The government and the media, they dress things up to appeal to people's emotions, to play on your emotions. They dress things up to appeal to you in the ways that they wanted to appeal to you to support their agenda. See, the MeToo movement ain't about, you know, justice for women. It ain't about that. You know what I mean? It's about them targeting mainly men. But, you know, the MeToo movement done accuse certain women too. Like, I want to say it was Mariah Carey's like business manager or agent or something. But somebody who used to work for Mariah Carey for a lot of years, you know, that bitch accused Mariah Carey of sexual misconduct. You did, or sexual harassment or something, but basically some kind of sexual misconduct. So it ain't always men that's being accused, but it's majority men. But basically the MeToo movement is a license to you know, persecute whoever it is that they want to persecute, you know, slander who they want to slander, and fuck up the lives of whoever they want to target. It's a license for that type of shit. That's all it's about. You know, and yeah, ultimately it's about money. You know, everything in America is about money. But the Me Too movement is ultimately about money, and you know, fucking up anybody who they might see as a threat to their money situation. It might be powerful or whatever, like the Matt Lauer dude. I think that's dude's name. The dude who lost his job. You know, it's just fucked up. And everybody's saying Harvey Weinstein. But see, it ain't over with for Harvey Weinstein yet. You know, I don't think he's gonna go to the pen like Bill Cosby. And see, I don't want him to go to the pen if he's innocent, just like I don't want Bill Cosby to go to the pen. See, I don't know. I haven't really followed Harvey's situation like that, so I don't know if anybody got any evidence to support the claims against him. But, again, probability, right? See, Harvey Weinstein got over 80 motherfuckers claiming that he violated them sexually. Now, out of 80 people, somebody is lying. Just within this short time frame, 80-something females are saying that he been violating them over a span of 30 years. See, this is another problem with our people. You know, we think that justice is, oh, well, they got one of ours, why don't they get one of theirs? No, that's not justice. See, again, I don't want anybody that's innocent of this shit to go to jail. The justice is bringing down that fucking Me Too movement. That's gonna be the justice, you know? But how do we stop that? You know, that's for us to sit down and figure out and put our heads together, which most of us ain't gonna do. But that's the real problem. The problem is the Me Too movement. The problem isn't whether or not Bill Cosby is guilty. The problem isn't whether or not Harvey Weinstein is guilty. The problem is that fucking Me Too movement. That's the problem. You dig? That's the root. You got to cut that shit off at the root. Stop that shit from growing. Stop that shit from getting powerful. Don't support that shit. You dig? Because that shit ain't about justice. You know, the Me Too movement ain't got nothing to do with justice at all. You know, it's just a license for bitches. You know what I mean? These fucking punk ass bitches that don't have a problem lying. Like, that shit is crazy. That Andrea bitch, and that bitch knows she lying. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That bitch lying. And that bitch smiled when Bill Cosby got found guilty. The bitch smiled. You know? And see, it's just fucked up. Because it just goes to show you how America is now. For me, myself, you can't convince me that Bill Cosby is guilty. In my mind, Bill Cosby is innocent of the shit that he was convicted of. I believe he was not guilty at all. But let's just say hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, let's say Bill Cosby was guilty of the shit that he got convicted of, right? Now, here you have it. One, first and foremost, this is a man with no criminal background. This man ain't never been in trouble with the law. In 81 years of his life, this man has never been in trouble. As a black man, that's amazing. Even if you rich or not. Just as a black man in America, it's amazing to make it 81 years of living in America and you ain't never been in trouble. The money don't matter. The celebrity status don't matter. Because we all know motherfuckers with a gang of money that have been in trouble with the law, that have been accused of rape and all type of shit. And, you know, I'm talking about black men. Black men with plenty of money. Got criminal records. You know, so that shit don't matter. So whatever the case is, if you a black man and you live 81 years and you ain't never been in trouble with the law, that's amazing. It's fucked up that it's amazing. because it shouldn't be like that. But being the way that things are, how we get targeted the way that we do, it's some amazing shit. So here it is. Like I said, you have a man that ain't never been in trouble with the law. Now, let's say Harvey Weinstein get found guilty. And see, it's really unfair to compare because Harvey Weinstein's charges against him don't come from the same place as Bill's. Bill's is in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, which is a commonwealth. And, based on my personal experience with commonwealths is fucked up. But whatever the case, Harvey Weinstein, I don't see, even if he get found guilty, he's another person that, to my knowledge, ain't never been in trouble with the law. But because he's a white man, 9 times out of 10, he ain't going to prison. They probably gonna give him a suspended sentence at the worst, probation at the worst, an ankle monitor at the worst. But Harvey Weinstein ain't going to no damn prison. I will be highly surprised if he goes to prison. And even if he was to go to prison, he ain't gonna get as harsh of a term as Bill Cosby. Harvey Weinstein ain't finna get no 3 to 10 years. And again, if he's innocent, just like I believe Bill is innocent, then I don't think he should go to prison either. But nonetheless, I just say all that to say, like, the fairness between black and white is imbalanced like a motherfucker. It's not the same. So, but back to Bill. He ain't never been in trouble. He's 81 years old. He can barely move around on his own, and he's legally blind. The man can't even really see. And to add insult to injury, not only do he got to do this 3 to 10 year sentence, but once he if he gets out, if he even makes it, he got to register as a sexually violent predator, basically a sex offender. It's fucked up. They making Bill register. And see, this just goes to show you that they got a vendetta against him. Because see, in Bill's case, right, they had a psychologist come to the court and testify. The psychologist did an analysis on him. Did an analysis on Bill, right? And they ruled that it's very unlikely that he would reoffend what he's been found guilty of. It's very unlikely. It's very unlikely that he's going to do the same thing again because of his age, his inability to move around on his own, and his inability to see. Along with, statistically, people that age hardly ever do that. People his age hardly ever reoffend again. So, but the judge just basically said, fuck that. He still got to register. So it's just a fucked up thing, man. Totally fucked up thing. But yeah, once again, love break. Put some of this in your life if you haven't already. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. For those of y'all who have hit the like button, I appreciate you. If you haven't, please hit that thing one time for me. Read some of y'all's comments. No, I don't think Mike is next at all. Said they gave us OJ and took Bill, huh? Bill is 10 years older than OJ going in when OJ got out. Fucked up. That's fucked up. Truth from Troy says, I was about to see Bill at CSUSB perform right before the allegations. They canceled the show. Yeah, of course, people in those situations, the powers that be, they don't want to be associated with the controversy in any kind of way. So yeah, they're gonna do that type of stuff. Definitely. Unfortunately. Knock, as always, I appreciate you. Much appreciated. Do you think Harvey committed what they accused them of, or do you think the bitches had intent to go against him for the come up? See, again, Donald Rosby. See, I haven't followed Harvey's case like I followed Bill's, and I don't know if anybody has any evidence when it comes to Harvey, any of his accusers. I don't know if it's any evidence, any like factual evidence against him. But even if there is, I believe it's impossible for 80 people that's accusing him for all of them to have evidence. So no, yeah, somebody is lying for the come up for sure when it comes to Harvey and when it comes to Bill. 80 accusers, everybody don't have evidence. I don't even think a fraction of them have evidence. I think the majority of 80 people accusing Harvey Weinstein are lying. The majority is lying. Most of them bitches is lying. It's fucked up, but it's the thing to do now. Like they all just start coming out the woodworks. All it takes is one for kick the door. Is for one to kick the door down, and then the rest of them bum rush the shit. Rest of them bum rush the opportunity, and it's fucked up because they playing with real people's lives, and that's one thing I hate to see is people's lives get played with. Right. So I always want to step up and the rest ride the bandwagon. Indeed. Real talk. Prim Dollar says we don't have friends. People don't care about our problems. Matter of fact, they glad we got them. Fuck Harvey and Matt and them. Well, see, me, I ain't gonna say fuck them because, see, even if they don't care about our problems, Matt and Harvey and them, they not the problem. The problem is the government and the quote unquote justice system. They the ones who I got a problem with. You know what I mean? Harvey Weinstein is just one man. Matt Lauer is just one man. They powerful men. Well, less powerful now because they whole their careers is fucked up now. But they're only individuals. I don't have a problem with the individuals. I have a problem with the justice system and the government, the powers that be. And see, even them going down. See, Harvey going down. To my knowledge, Matt Lauer ain't got no charges against him. I don't know. I haven't followed his situation like that either. But I don't know of any charges being brought against him. But even if white men go down behind this MeToo movement, it's still a bad look for us as black men. It's fucked up, because if they take their own people down for the sake of supporting their agenda, then what you think they're gonna do with us? And make us chop liver. So anybody going down at the hands of this MeToo movement, whether they white or black, it's not a good look for us at all. So I don't want to see nobody get thrown under the bus behind this shit. Not a Matt, not a Harvey, or anybody else. I don't want to see none of them get thrown under the bus, because it's just making that monster stronger. It's like that plant on Little Shop of Horrors, Feed Me Seymour. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to feed that motherfucker. I ain't trying to feed that motherfucker at all. Christy, what's up with it? I see you. Tuning in. See, that's the thing too, right? Whenever something happens to us, it's natural for us to get angry and have hatred and resentment in our hearts and say fuck this and fuck that, fuck them and fuck that. But see, that doesn't have any like real effects on the problem. See, rather than us saying fuck them or fuck this or fuck that, fuck him, fuck her, whenever something happens to us, see, we have to tighten up as a community. We have to check ourselves. We can't expect, the system to treat us better. We can't expect white America to treat us better. We can't expect anybody to treat us better if we don't take care of ourselves first. We got a lot of internal problems, a lot of internal issues that we need to take care of within ourselves. And it starts with our men. We got to respect ourselves better as men. And see, like I said, meanwhile, while we have all this shit going on, see, it's fucked up because we don't have no Bill Cosbys no more, like in today's media, in today's entertainment. The best thing we got is LeBron James. And LeBron James is a great example of a man. See, I fuck with LeBron heavy because as an athlete, I don't agree with some of his moves, like him bouncing from team to team just for the sake of getting rings and all that shit. I don't respect that. But LeBron James as a man, on some man shit, on some black man shit, I fuck with LeBron heavy. You know what I mean? He making us look good. LeBron don't be getting in trouble. LeBron ain't got no scandals on his resume. Hopefully it remains that way. But beyond LeBron, and a few others, it's not a lot of positive examples that we have in our face all the time as far as, black men. Great examples of young black men especially. We don't have a lot of great examples of young black men that's being, put at the forefront all the time. You dig? Because look at what they do. We got Colin Kaepernick, but look at what they do. And now they trying to, get him back in the NFL. You know what I mean? After they done shamed the man ridiculously for standing up for what he believed in, or rather, taking a knee for what he believed in, but ultimately standing up for what he believed in. Colin Kaepernick is another great example of a man. I fucks with him heavy because, see, a lot of us need to be more like Colin Kaepernick. because he's really showing that like he don't give a fuck about the celebrity status or being being in the NFL. Like, I know that he knew that his career was on the line when he started standing up the way that he did. He didn't give a fuck about none of that. He stood for what he believed in and still standing for what he believed in. And I fucks with him heavy for that, because it's not enough of us doing that type of shit. You know, most of us, we try to be tough with each other. We ain't got no problem killing another man, another black man. We ain't got no problem whooping another black man's ass or hurting another black man, stealing from another black man or anything like that. But the hardest, toughest niggas, when they get in that courtroom and they facing that judge, niggas turn into bitches real quick. Niggas ain't got no problem snitching. You know what I mean? They the toughest nigga in the world, but when they face that judge in that courtroom, you know what I mean, with that black robe on, niggas turn into bitches like a motherfucker. So that's why I respect Colin Kaepernick so much, because in the face of the powers that be, the man didn't fold. He didn't say, oh, fuck, I got millions on the line. Let me bow out of this and let me stop taking a knee. Man, he said, fuck that. I'm standing for what I believe in. I don't give a fuck how many millions is on the line. I don't give a fuck if my career is on the line as an athlete. This is my dream. This is what I wanted to do my whole life. But if I have to sacrifice that for the greater good of my people and standing for what I believe in, then so be it. Fuck the NFL. Fuck this football shit. Fuck the career. Fuck the money. Fuck the status. Fuck all that. You know what I mean? I gotta support my people. That's the greatest example of manhood that we've seen in today's times, especially among young black men. You really have to give Colin Kaepernick his props. And we really need to promote him as much as possible as a great example of a young black man, you know, to set the mold. You dig? I respect that more than any tough nigga that could fight or any hardcore motherfucker ain't got no problem killing, or all these lean drug these dope fiend ass niggas and all that shit. Man, I respect Colin over anybody like that. All these rappers and all this shit with the jewelry and all, man, I respect Colin over all of them. You know what I mean? And he rocked the fro like how I'm rocking right now. You know what I mean? All natural. You dig? I fuck with that. You know what I mean? No, I've been hearing about the Nike commercial, but I haven't seen it. So I don't know. But I don't see Colin selling out after all he done been through with the NFL. I don't see him selling out to Nike, but I can't really speak on that because I haven't seen it. True from Troy said, Freeze, get them waves back like me. Yeah, my waves was sick, man. When I had the waves in there, my waves was sick. And a lot of times I be seeing cats waved up, man. I be missing my waves, but, you know, I've been rocking the waves all my life. So, you know, I'm doing a little change right now. You never know, I might end up back with the waves one day. The waves is a motherfucker, though. That's some fly ass shit that a lot of motherfuckers ain't even on nowadays. Well, the majority ain't on. Freeze go Samson on these hoes. Sugar, you a fool. I, me, oh, he, oh. I don't know how you pronounce your name. You said, who are you? Didn't see and mean no disrespect. For those of y'all unfamiliar with me, I am Freeze is it. The God anointed game appointed gentleman, I mean, chopping and popping this game with you one time. about this manhood tonight and us not being weak ass niggas. But I'm just a YouTuber, man. I ain't nobody special. I talk a lot of shit, but don't believe everything that you hear and see. But believe the good shit that I pop. Believe the good shit. The positivity that I'm popping on here, believe that. Certain shit is just for entertainment, but I promote health and fitness. I promote you loving yourself. I promote you putting this love in your body on a regular, eating good, exercising, loving yourself physically, loving yourself mentally by putting, knowledge in your brain, reading, educating yourself, enlightening yourself in some sort of way. Yeah, like Tony Davis say, empowerment. He said the fro got the glow around it, huh? It kind of do though, huh? The fro do got the glow though, huh? Yeah. The fro with the glow. You dig? But yeah, like I say, put some of this in your body. This love. Oh, I am me, Ohio. I appreciate you for subscribing. I appreciate you for tuning in as well. And like Tony say, for those of you who have not at this point, go ahead and hit the like button. I appreciate you for hitting the like button if you have already. If you haven't, please do me a favor and hit that thing one time. You did. Let me see. I'm going to read some more comments and answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon here. Silk, she said you drink your love juice all day, every day. I dig that. This here was brought to you in part by Love Juice. Hey, yeah, hey, see, at some point I'm gonna have to get some merch, man. And see, when I get some merch, I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna get some water. You dig? We need some more of that in our lives. And see, I like supporting this water because this is owned by Puffy and Mark Wahlberg. It's Aqua Hydrate. You dig? So I like the fact that they got their own water thing going on. Read some more of these comments, y'all. Dirty Bird Shouty, is that alkaline love you drinking? Yes, it is. Indeed. Walter Wayne says, you know anything about the school systems infiltrating the minds of our children? I'll say this. I don't know about the school systems infiltrating the minds of our children, but I will say school systems aren't parents. And we have to parent to the point where our kids are mentally prepared to deal with whatever they got to deal with at school. See, a lot of us don't parent the way we need to with our kids at home. You know, a lot of us, unfortunately, rely on the school to do a lot of shit. The school can only do so much. The school should only be expected to do so much. But it's a lot of shit that we got to do at home as parents, one-on-one with the kids. You dig? You know, the school gives basic knowledge as it should, but it's a lot of shit we got to do with our kids at home that a lot of us are not doing at home. Just little shit like drinking water. You know what I mean? It's a trip. A lot of us don't realize our power of influence as parents, man. That's why I'm always, and I've talked about this before, man, but when I'm around mine, man, I'm always on my best behavior because they pay attention to everything that you do. So if you know they paying attention and absorbing and soaking up everything that you do, then you need to make everything that you do when you're in their presence be the best. You got to be your best when you're in their presence. It just be little shit like, you know, I like with my daughter, I tell her things all the time, and you know, it's a trip how she takes the littlest things and runs with it. Like for instance, right, when school was starting, you know, I took her and her brother, my little stepson, I took them school shopping, right? And my daughter, she always like really, you know, she really implements what I say more so than her brother, right? But I was telling both of them, I said, because you know they usually, you know, they well, my daughter's about to be 9 and her brother just turned 10. So, you know, they 9 and 10-year-olds, so they hard on their shoes like most 9 and 10-year-olds. But, you know, they get to the age where, you know, they need to get better at that. So when I was taking them school shopping, I'm buying them clothes and I'm buying them shoes and I'm telling them, you know, y'all need to do your best to take care of your shoes and take care of your clothes and keep them nice. You know, you don't want to let your stuff get all raggedy. So it's a trip because I talk to my daughter. I try to talk to her every day, but I don't always get to. But I talk to her at least every other day, right? So when I talk to her, I'll ask her how school was and all of that, and she always tells me like, "Dad, I've been taking care of my shoes. My shoes are still clean, Dad. I still got my shoes clean. I didn't mess them up. I've been taking care of them like you told me." And it's a trip because I only said it one time. And to be honest, like, even though I said that to him, I expect him to mess them up. But one thing I know is that they're going to remember that as they get older. They're going to remember Dad saying when they was 9 and 10 years old to take care of their shoes. Just like I remember certain things that my father told me when I was 9 and 10 years old that I didn't take heed to at that time, but I always remembered it, and later on I took heed to it, you know, when I became old enough to comprehend it better. So that's why I tell them certain things. But it's just a trip the way she take heed to it. And I was talking to her one day, and she's like, "Dad, I want to tell you something, but I don't even want to tell you this." And I'm like, "What's up? Let me know. What you talking about?" She was like, "Well, I was walking on the grass today and I accidentally stepped in some mud and I messed my shoes up. And so they're kind of dirty right now." She's like, "I tried to clean them. I tried my best to clean them, but they still got the mud on them." So I said, "It's all good. You know, don't trip. I got some stuff. There's some stuff that we can get to clean it. So next time I see you, I'll give you the shoe cleaner." But she was just so like, heartbroken and disappointed, like that she felt like she let me down by messing her shoes up. You dig? But that's just an example of, like I said, stuff that you don't think that they gonna really take and run with. They gonna take it and run with it. So you got to be on your best behavior with your kids at all times. So and once again, that's just one example of something that the school ain't gonna teach. Like the teacher ain't gonna tell your kids to keep their shoes clean. Teacher ain't gonna tell your kids to make sure their clothes stay nice and don't be hard on your clothes, don't be hard on your shoes. Teachers don't teach that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Teachers don't teach your kids to keep their room clean or say yes ma'am, no ma'am, and think. Well, some teachers might try to teach the kids to say yes ma'am, no ma'am, things like that. But nonetheless, that's something that your child should already get from you before the teacher even got the opportunity to teach them that. You did? You just got to be the best example to them that you could possibly be at all times. All the time. Because they paying attention, believe me. True from Troy says she see you as perfection. That's real talk. Because I think I told y'all about that before. Like my daughter, she always bragging on me like we was somewhere and somebody was like, I ain't never seen you eat candy. And my daughter was like, no, my dad, he doesn't eat candy. He only eats vegetables and chicken, and he doesn't drink soda, and he doesn't eat candy, and he doesn't eat beef, he doesn't eat pork. Like she always brags about that type of shit to everybody. So and she's like, he always goes to the gym, he works out, and she always bragging about her dad. So I do my best to give her as many reasons to brag about me as possible. You did? I eat mostly chicken, but now I eat seafood too. Poultry and seafood. I don't eat red meat, no pork, no beef, no none of that. I don't eat fried foods. And for 2018, I'm not eating bread, so I ain't had no bread this year. I don't really like tofu. I don't like the texture of it. I've tried it a few different times and I never liked it. I don't like the texture of tofu. Joe Frank, what's up with it, man? Benjamin say, kids see the simplicity of things. They really understand things without judgment. That's real talk, especially from their parents. That is real talk. They see it for what it is. Yeah, chicken and seafood or lean meats from what I know, yeah, indeed. But, see, that's one thing about me. I don't necessarily condemn things just because I don't do it, especially certain things. Like, there's certain things that I don't do that might still be good for you, like, for instance, beef. I don't eat beef, but beef is definitely good for you in a lot of ways. As I've said numerous times before, beef is a good source of protein. It's a good source of iron. I just don't think you should eat beef every day. I don't eat beef at all. But if you do eat beef, I don't think you should eat beef any more than twice a week. I think if you eat beef 3 times a week is kind of pushing it. But if you eating beef more than 3 times a week, to me, you're doing too much. Because you just got to think about it logically. Like, it's a known fact that red meat takes 72 hours to digest out of your body. So if you eating burgers every day like I used to when I was younger, right? When I was in my 20s pretty much, early 20s. I stopped eating red meat in my later 20s. But in my whole life up to my early 20s, mid 20s, I ate like it was a point in time where I used to eat burgers every day. Burgers, burgers, burgers every day, every day, every day. Now, fortunately, I had youth on my side, so it didn't really have a fucked up effect on me like that. But just imagine people that eat red meat all day, every day for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. It got to be something wrong with that at some point because you're not giving your body enough time to digest it faster than you consuming it or as fast as you consume it. Yeah, I eat turkey too. I fuck with the turkey. Like I said, poultry and seafood, which poultry is pretty much birds. Turkey, chicken. I do turkey and chicken. Uh, um, and seafood. You know, I love salmon. Uh, pretty much mostly white fish. I like white fish and I like shrimp. Lot of different shellfish. Even though some people say the shellfish ain't good, but I fuck with shellfish. I've you know what, I did have octopus one time and it was actually cool. I had octopus once and it was cool. Rice can be good for you depending on what your goal is. And the better rice to fuck with is the brown rice. You know, I love white rice to death, but white rice isn't the best rice for you. See, because most white foods end up turning to sugar, like potatoes, rice, shit like that. It ends up turning to sugar ultimately in your body. You know what I mean? So white rice ain't really the best for you. But at the same time, if you do it in moderation, if you don't overdo it, then it'll be all right for you. Free, since you've been a big dude, have you ever had to kick on some ass? Nah. A lot of y'all probably seen a video I had on Facebook, and it's still floating around the internet, even though I took it down, where I almost got to a fight with somebody some months back. We ended up not fighting because that person had what I like to call accessories, and I didn't want to fight him with his accessories. So that was a situation where I walked away. Now, I probably could have fought him and still got the best of him, even with the accessories, but I didn't want to take that gamble, for one. Then two, it was other, things going on around, other people involved that was with me, and I didn't want to compromise their well-being. So based on all that, I didn't go there. But for the most part, like I said earlier in the video, you might have tuned in after the fact, but I don't work out to fight people. I don't work out to intimidate people. I don't do it for any of that. Because like I said, most people that you fight with nowadays, especially niggas gonna want to kill you. Because niggas can't take an ass whooping. So if you fight a motherfucker, nowadays, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to kill his ass. And I don't want to fight nobody. I don't want to kill nobody. I don't want to do none of that. So, Freeze is like this most of the time. I ain't trying to fight nobody. Will if I have to, but I don't want to fight nobody. Yeah, I fuck with peas and corn. I had some corn earlier today. But I like peas too. Krim Dollar say oatmeal, brown rice, a little poultry, and no carbs after 7. See, like I said before, right? See, a lot of people say that no carbs after 7 or don't eat after 7. See, it's not so much a time sensitive thing. as far as like the time of day, like 7 o'clock. That's a specific time of day. It's not so much about not eating after a certain time of day. It's what's more important is not eating within 3 hours of when you go to sleep, which I spoke on this before. But the reason why people say don't eat after 7 is because for most people, they're gonna go to sleep 3 hours after 7 o'clock at least, which is 10 o'clock. Most people are gonna go to sleep at 10 or later. So that's why they say don't eat after 7, because it gives you 3 hours if you go to sleep at 10 o'clock or later. But it's really about the 3 hour thing, because you're giving your body time to digest that and process that food, and you're not going to sleep on it as soon as you eat it, which helps you gain weight. But so if you go to sleep at midnight, if you eat at 9 o'clock or no later than 9 o'clock, then you'll be cool. If you eat at 8 o'clock, you'll be cool. If you go to sleep at midnight, if you go to sleep at 1 in the morning, then if you eat at 9 or 9:30 or something like that, then you'll be cool. So that's the main thing. Lil Famo 073 say, who you think had a better influence on the pimp culture? North Cali, South Cali, or the Midwest, Chicago, Detroit? When you say better influence, I don't know if you mean like the most influence or the best influence. But if you saying like the best influence, as far as best goes, they each have their different strong points. Like, see, what I like about Chicago and Detroit, or just the Midwest period, what I like about them is that they instill heart in bitches like a motherfucker. Like, the Midwest to me got the toughest hoes, period. You know what I mean? To me, it ain't. When I say tough, I mean like got heart, like they not afraid of nothing. To me, the Midwest got the most fearless hoes with the most heart. This down, like, for whatever. They're not gonna be scared to go get it. They ain't gonna be on some, oh, it's too many police outside, or it's too cold outside, or it's too hot outside, or it's too this, it's too that. They're not looking for a whole bunch of reasons to stop them from getting the money. They considering all the reasons to go get the money, despite whatever the circumstance is. So that's what I love about the Midwest, is the fact that they instill that going hard. You know what I mean? We going hard, no matter what the circumstance is. Like they say, rain, sleet, or snow, she gonna go get the dough. That's some Midwest shit. So when you say best influence, that's what I appreciate about the Midwest, because that's a good thing. Now, as far as the Bay Area, what I like about the Bay Area is like the style. You dig? I think a lot of the style when it comes to our culture comes from the Bay Area, and when it comes to the pimping, having wordplay, having a cold mouthpiece. When I think of cold mouthpieces, I think of the Bay Area. You dig? So to me, they have a better influence as far as that goes. Dakota's, if you look at it as far as like as a whole, by regions, you know what I mean? There's no region, in my opinion, that has colder mouthpieces than the Bay Area. You know what I mean? You have certain exceptions, like Sinful, for instance. He come from Chicago, and he got a cold mouthpiece. But I'm talking about as a whole. Bay Area got the coldest mouthpieces, period. So as far as better goes, to me, they have the better influence in that department. Uh, um, Southern California, let's see. Because, see, I'm from Southern California, but I don't consider myself to be a quote unquote Southern California pimp. I don't associate a region with my pimping because I'm a cross country pimp. You know what I mean? I get down everywhere, and I don't like to consider myself a California pimp or a West Coast pimp. I'm just a pimp that just so happened to be from the West Coast, from California, from Southern California. But Southern California, better influence. You know what? And it's funny because a lot of people disagree with me on this, right? But I say keeping them down, as far as keeping hoes down for like 10 hours, 12 hours, like really mashing. I would say Southern California has the better influence on keeping hoes down. You dig? For extended periods of time. Because, you know, a lot of people ain't going to keep a bitch down for 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours, shit, sometimes 24 hours until that bitch get that trap, you know, until she got a sufficient trap. A lot of places ain't going to keep them down like that, especially in today's times, mainly because of the fact that there's not availability to keep them down like that. See, Southern California, 24/7, there's a track that you can go to, they got a bunch of hoes down. Everywhere else ain't like that. Like, the Bay Area has E14, but with the exception of E14, the Bay Area ain't got a bunch of places where you could just keep them down all the time. Uh, at least in comparison to Southern California. Southern Cali, it's a track open 24/7. Right now, you can go to the track in LA and it's a bunch of hoes down. In the morning, you go to the track in LA, it's a bunch of hoes down. Afternoon, you go to the track in LA, bunch of hoes down. Or just Southern Cali, period, not just LA. Southern Cali. You go to the track in the afternoon, bunch of hoes down. Evening, bunch of hoes down. Nighttime, bunch of hoes down. Like, it's always a track open. It's always money to get. You know, Southern Cali is just 24/7. And that's why I give it to Southern Cali as far as keeping them down, because you have the availability to do that there. See, other places like DC, for instance. DC, the tracks don't be open 24/7. And it's not a whole bunch of tracks. You know, Southern California, really California, period, but more so Southern Cali is the track capital. There's no other region that has more tracks than Southern California. So, yeah, I'll give it to Southern Cali as far as that goes. Dice Dollar say San Francisco got Blazers open 24/7. See, I don't know about that, and I fuck with Frisco. I was just in Frisco a few months ago. I don't know about 24/7 in Frisco. If so, that's new to me. As far as I know, Frisco is a nighttime place. In the daytime, I don't know where they got hoes down in Frisco at. I mean, you can probably do it, but it's not really like, it's not open, it's not popping like that. You know what I mean? You probably have to be like tiptoeing with your hoeing. You know what I mean? If you a bitch down Union Square, they not down 24/7. They not down like that 24/7 in Union Square. You know, see, like Union Square shut down after a certain time. Like at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, Union Square is dry. You might still see some people down, but the action is real minimal. It's not a whole lot of action in Union Square. I just was in Union Square. That's why I could tell you from experience. Like, Union Square shut down at a certain time and everybody go to E14. Or they go to Shotwell and Cap. But, see, that's what I'm saying. Southern California, at 5 in the morning, there's a track that you could go to this cracking. You know what I mean? With 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 holes down. In Southern California, it's like that. And you have more than just one option. You got multiple options throughout the whole day. At any given time of day, there's multiple blades that you can go to and do your thing. So that's why I say the keeping them down part, I get at the Southern California. And it's mainly because Southern California has the availability to do that. Beyonce's Mega Man 1 2 3 4 5 6 says, hold on, get back to it. All right. I always wonder, how do pimps deal with gangs? Do you gotta pay them or do y'all beef? See, me, I'm not finna pay no man to set a hoe down on the track. I'm not finna beef with no man either. But one thing I am gonna do is pimp. I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna get pimped on. And me getting pimped on, that's what that would mean. If I'm paying some man to be able to be over here and do my thing, then that's me getting pimped. I'm not finna get pimped on. Especially by some nigga that live in a neighborhood that he can get evicted from at any time. Because he don't own nothing over there. I'm not finna pay no gangbanger. Pimping don't do that. I'm gonna be a man in whatever the situation is. Yeah, some cats try to push that on Fig, but fortunately I ain't never had to deal with that type of shit in my, many years in the game, and I don't plan on dealing with that. I just don't, I don't deal with that, and I'm not gonna start dealing with it. Can the Trick Lessons podcast get a shout out, Freeze? Trick Lessons, huh? Hey, I ain't mad at it. As long as you ain't teaching lessons to violate hoes. If you ain't teaching lessons about that, then hey, it's all good. I support tricking. I encourage tricking. I love tricking. I ain't gonna do it. Somebody gotta do it. So, yeah. Trick Lessons, shout out. You dig? Yeah, Tricks got game too. It's professional tricks. And see, that's why a lot of these bitches be broke. A lot of these bitches ain't getting no real money because the Tricks got game and most of these bitches don't. See, the Tricks don't stop having game. And now they having it their way more so than ever. See, they not supposed to be able to have their way in the way that they having it now, to the point where they having their way, but the hoes ain't having their way. It's really supposed to be a situation where no matter what, the hoe's supposed to have her way. But a lot of these bitches is bound down to Tricks because they don't have game. See, the Tricks ain't bound down to these bitches. See, when it's a situation when, you might have a trick that got game, but this hoe got more game, and she understands, the power of her influence, and the power of her role, and what she's supposed to do, then the gamed up hoe's supposed to win in the face of the gamed up trick. But most of them don't have no game, the hoes. So they not gonna have their way. The trick is gonna have his way because he still got game. So that's why a lot of these bitches be broke and they barely get any money. The majority of bitches in the game now is broke. And it's because they don't have no game. They don't have a desire for game. They don't have a concern for game. They don't have an appreciation for game. They just think that based on the fact that they have a pussy, that they're going to be successful, and they're sorely mistaken. That's the majority of bitches in the game right now. Sugar Delar says, these bitches is game repellent and failure driven these days. They probably wouldn't tell you that, but based on their conduct, yeah, that's really what it is. But in conclusion, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up in just a second. For those of y'all who have hit the like button, I appreciate you. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so at this time. For a pimp one time, you dig? But in conclusion, man, back to the basis of this video, we got to stop all this weak shit, man. We got to stop glorifying and promoting weakness in our men, our black men. You know, we not supposed to be drug addicted. We not supposed to be weak for drugs. We not supposed to be suckers for a bitch, letting bitches punk us and all that type of shit. And then we acting like we hard amongst each other. You can't be the type of nigga that gets slapped by a bitch or let a bitch spit in your face and then you want to go beat this nigga up or kill this nigga. No. You still a bitch if you doing that. So we have to stop all this weak ass shit amongst our men. You know, y'all gonna do what you want to do. And if you want to watch Love and Hip Hop, Black Ink, all that reality TV, that's fine. Just don't allow the shit that you see on there to influence you in a fucked up way. Because you see them dudes letting bitches punk their ass, don't think that that's cool for you to do, or that's the way that you gotta be in order to have a certain type of female. You gotta let her punk you and all that type of shit. Don't think like that. If a woman don't respect you, then she don't deserve you. You shouldn't be with her. You don't have no business dealing with a female that don't respect you. You know, she should respect you enough to not want to demean you, especially on national TV, like them bitches be doing them dudes. That type of shit ain't cool. You know, stay sucker free, man. And you know, another thing, like we was talking about earlier, don't think that you have to validate your manhood by being violent. You know, because you resorting to violence a lot of times, especially when you initiating it. If you don't like the way a man is talking to you, another man is talking to you, or you don't like just something about him, period, and you feel like you might feel in order to validate your manhood, you got to get violent with this individual. That really makes you look more feminine than anything. Because it's like you believe that you can't match him here, or you can't match him on a man level as far as manhood goes. And the only way that you know how to validate yourself is by being violent. Yeah, I'm a real nigga because I whooped his ass, or I killed him, or I shot him, or stabbed him, or whatever. That actually makes you look more feminine than anything. You know what I mean? The strongest thing to be able to do, the greatest display of strength, is to be able to walk away from situations like that. or not even necessarily walk away, but to be able to diffuse situations like that, you know, and get a brother who may be getting at you in that type of way to come to your way of thinking and operate in the spirit of manhood. You did. So and be able to teach, like, you know, like we say, each one teach one. Be able to teach him how to operate in the best manner and show the best display of manhood. You dig? So the bottom line, man, we gotta stop all this old weak ass shit. And especially the fucking biggest thing that I have a fucking problem with is all these old MeToo ass niggas on social media. All you niggas, if you one of them niggas that be in the shade room, you know what I mean, whenever it's some type of allegations against one of our men, even if the man might be wrong, you don't get on there bashing the nigga, you know, more so to the point where it's more niggas bashing them than it is bitches. Like with Bill Cosby. When they posted Bill's mugshot yesterday, it was more niggas on there bashing them than females. It was more niggas on there than bitches. You bitch ass niggas ought to be ashamed of yourself. Even if Bill was guilty, even if he was wrong. And y'all do that with everybody. Like when they was going at R. Kelly about the shit. You motherfuckers was getting on there bashing R. Kelly more so than these women. That's what bitches do. Bitches sit up there and gossip about another man. And get on there with the fucking tea. Ooh, girl, I got the tea. Ass niggas, man. Stop that shit. That's not what we do. You make us look weak as a motherfucker when you do that shit. And there's too many of you motherfuckers, man. If you one of them niggas, stop that shit right now, man. Like Pimp C say, it ain't never too late to stop being a bitch. You can stop right now. Know what I mean? Don't do that sucker ass shit. On some real shit, man. That shit is some sucker ass shit. When you get in the comment section trolling, just because you want some attention, and a lot of y'all do that because you ain't got no fucking game. See, when you ain't got no game, you think that the best way to get a bitch is to act like a bitch. Bitches don't like niggas that act like bitches. Any bitch worth having, if this is a female, a woman that's worth having, she don't want nobody that's acting like her. So don't think that, yeah, Bill Cosby got found guilty of sexual misconduct, so, you know, I know bitches is gonna be hating him, so let me join them in the hate, and maybe that might get me some action. No, it don't work like that. A lot of y'all motherfuckers be saying and doing that shit because you think that's what bitches want to hear. Yeah, that's right, baby. You tell them. Finally, a man that, you know, could feel where we coming from. Finally, it's a man that you know, ain't supporting a rapist and all. Man, that ain't finna get you no action at a bitch. And if it do, that bitch ain't even worth having. You know what I mean? That shit is less than manly. That shit is feminine. We don't do that. Stop getting in these fucking comment sections acting like bitches, talking about, yeah, that's what he deserved. He deserved to go to jail and all of those shit, man. We don't do that. Stop it. You get on my fucking nerves. I wish I could round all you niggas up and slap the shit out your ass. But stop the sucker shit. Stop the weak shit. Stop the bitch made shit, man. You know, get you an understanding of this real man shit. Which if you paying attention to Freeze, you gonna get an understanding of this real man shit if you don't get nothing else, man. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate you for hitting the like button. If you haven't already, please do so. I appreciate you even if you hit the thumbs down button. You did? It's all good. As you know, this is a place where you can hate and be yourself, man. Freeze ain't gonna shoot your hating down. But I appreciate you for commenting. As always, man, y'all always got great feedback. I appreciate you for your super chats. I appreciate you for your shares. I appreciate you for the support in every which way that you come with it. Y'all already know we're going to do this again much sooner than later. Best of blessings to y'all. If you out moving around right now, do so in a safe fashion. And, of course, put some love in your body, man. Let me do it one time for the road, though. You did? Drink you some water. I appreciate y'all. Best of blessings to you. I holla.